Africa is in a very unique position as we speak today. She is at the threshold of hope, and young Africans throughout the continent are engaged in conversations which are designed to address the things that matter, whether it's in innovation, invention, is in agriculture, is in health, and is in the area of peace. But also, Africa finds ourselves in a difficult situation. As I speak to you now, young Africans are engaged in wars in northern Mozambique. They are engaged in war in Ethiopia, in Nuba Mountains, in Bahr el Ghazal, in Darfur, in Central African Republic, in the Eastern Congo, in the Sahelian region. And this is sad because when young people are engaged in war and conflict, then their ability to serve the continent is undermined. But I am eternally hopeful. Hopeful because I know that throughout the ages, when the clouds have been at their darkest, that is when the stars appear brightly. And I hold the view that if this continent is to be great, and she will be great, it will be on the shoulders of young men and women. And that is why we must have this conversation and recruit young men and women who have the wherewithal to appreciate the fact that Africa can only be built on the shoulders of our young men and women. I want to hear Africans speaking from Dakar in Senegal, to Djibouti, from Cape Town in South Africa, to Tripoli in Libya, to Bangui in Central African Republic, to Kinshasa, to Nairobi and Dar es Salaam, speaking only one language and making demands of their leaders. I want to hear young Cameroonians making demands. I want Africans to remember that Africa has always grown by leaps and bounds when our young men and women have been in the forefront of struggle. You will remember the struggle to regain our independence was on the shoulders of young men and women. And history teaches us that that is what has happened throughout the ages and in different civilizations. If you remember the more recent history of South Africa, you'll remember the young men and women who died in Sharpeville. You'll remember the young men and women who died in Soweto. Recently, you remember the young men and women who sacrificed themselves in Madrid to overthrow the BR administration. You remember the young men and women who were in the streets in Burkina Faso to expel Blaise Compaoré. You'll remember the young men and women who were present in Bamako, in Mali, to expel a regime. And I have no doubt in my mind that when you are gathered here today, your duty is to take a solemn vow in the belief that we can change Africa and change her fundamentally. I look forward to the day when I will no longer read or watch television when our young men and women are drowning in the Mediterranean Sea. I look forward to the day when our young men and women will be renowned for the inventions and the innovations that they have put together. And I believe that it will come to happen. Now, sometimes you think that these conflicts are only in Africa. No, as we speak now, you know what is happening in Myanmar, in Asia. You know what is happening in Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan and Ukraine. You know what is happening in the Middle East, in Palestine and Israel. Conflict is a part of human life. It is how we maneuver ourselves and create the best of the situation that will define how far we go. So today, I know that you've had and will continue to have peaceful conversation, but I'm urging you to take a solemn vow that those who seek never fail to find. Difficulties will and may exist, but it's through overcoming them that we grow stronger. I believe, like they believed our ancestors of old, that societies only grow and are only as strong as our young men and women. Africa is great, will be great, and you will be the ones who will make her great. This struggle is intergenerational. Your generation will play its part, and successor generations will play their part, and history will record that we played our part and that we struggled to make our continent great. I wish you the very best in the hope that when we meet on the 22nd day of May, we'll have a more interactive session during which we'll ask ourselves uncomfortable questions and seek to find answers because it is in those answers that our future lies. I wish you God's guidance and blessing, and I want to energize you to continue doing what is good and right for the mother continent and for humanity. Be blessed.
One of the questions that we have put down there, which is what are some of the best approaches that can be deployed to harness the growing youth population? What's the problem and how can we identify, how can we come out of it? Is it the problem of leadership? Is it the problem of lack of interest on the part of young people? Or is it the problem of poor infrastructure and political will to fix that problem? How best can we harness the youth?
The question you asked is a multifaceted question. But yet history demonstrates consistently that when you organize, you realize. And I'm urging young people that you must organize. When you are organized and you speak with the resolve and firmness that opens the eyes of those in positions of leadership, then what you desire for the society will be achieved. Look at how societies have achieved things. You know, I use the example of South Africa because it's a lot more recent. In 1979, a young South African was accused of murder and was sentenced to death. It was Solomon Mahlangu. And when he was being sentenced to death, this is what he told the white judge, that you may kill me, but there will be many more Solomon Mahlangus. And if you read the story of South Africa and the story of the struggle for independence, the only reason why we gained what we had is that we are organized. And what those who do not want us to succeed do is they want us to be disorganized. They disorganize us and divide us on the basis of ethnicity. They disorganize us on the basis of religion. They disorganize us on the basis of race. They disorganize us because they know that when we are united, there is nothing that we cannot achieve. In a short, sharp answer to your question, I'm now saying organize, be patient, be consistent, identify your goals and work at them with the dedication of a disciple and with the delicacy of a sleepwalker. And let me tell you, there is nothing that cannot be achieved when people are organized. It may take time. The results we desire may not even be realized in your lifetime, but organization is the key that opens the doors of opportunity.